Hello everyone and welcome to another Skaredcast Tournament in Review. The Dark Eldar competitive event, 6 rounds, Petawawa, Ontario, Canada. Where the heck is that? Let's find out in today's Tournament in Review.
The Dark Kid.
Welcome to another Tournament in Review. I'm Skari, your grateful host. This is a video where we go over my list, my tactics, my strategy, my rounds, building, playing Dark Eldar at a competitive level. This is, of course, the studio. I'm all packed up and ready to go. So let's go over the list and what I liked and what I put in the list. Then we're going to go and we're going to look at the 6 rounds I'm going to play. And then we're going to come back to the studio and break down what I've learned from the matchups. Let's dive in to the army. So there you have it, folks, the entire army. It's a full 2,000 points of Drukhari, 2 detachments. We have an Arcs of Omen detachment and a Battle Brothers patrol. This is a Cabal of the Obsidian Rogues detachment for extra range and a reroll to wound in shooting and combat, which is great. And a Coven of the Dark Creed, which is a custom, no, not a custom coven, it's one of the main covens. Minus 6 inches is -1 leadership, as well as -1 to combat attrition, +1 to hitting close combat. My opponent is equal or low leadership. So cool little combos that go well with the Grizzly trophies. And that actually is one of the cool things about it. You can play against leadership, which is something that not a lot of people do. Leading the army is Drazar the Warlord. He, Hatred Eternal, kills stuff. Archon Skari has a Warlord trait and a relic, Ancient Evil, and the Jin Blade. So he goes in like that. A big core of the Archon, one of my favorite units. Then we have 3 units of Incubi. These are 6, 5, and 5 with the Clavex with Demiclaves. And then the meat and potatoes of the list are 6 units of Cavalry Warriors with Blasters and Phantasm Grenade Launchers. The 3 Raiders are also pivotal in the army. Lots of transports. It's good for Dark Eldar. Dark Lance and Phantasm Grenade Launcher on each of those, giving me 9 Phantasm Grenade Launchers that do mortal wounds against leadership. That's where the patrol comes in. The patrol has, of course, you've got the 6 Mandrakes. You have 3 Venoms. They have Grizzly trophies, so it's -3 leadership within 3 inches of these Venoms. It is great for the Phantasm Grenade Launchers. 2 units of 5 Racks, one of which has an Ossa Factor. The patrol is led by the Succubus with Precision Blows and the Triptych Whip. She's an absolute monster. And then to get behind enemy lines and score me lots of secondaries, 2 units of Reaver Jet Bikes with Blasters. And there you have it. Now, the Witch Cult stuff does not get an obsession because they're in a Coven patrol, and she can be upgraded to a Master Succubus, even though in Battle Scribe there is an error when you try to do that. That is wrong. You are allowed to do that. Read your codex and write out your lists in paper if Battle Scribe is, or Notepad. You know, Battle Scribe's not working. So I'm really excited to try this list again at a competitive tournament. That's 6 different rounds. That's going to be pretty crazy. 6 rounds, singles event, practicing for the Canhammer Team Tournament. So let's dive in to the old as dust. Let's go through the event, the rounds, and we'll come back to the studio, and I'll talk about what I've learned.
We're having dinner with everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, that's right. It's awesome. It's the night before hell breaks loose.
And here we are at the venue. It's going to be a good time. Oh, I can't wait. Today, this is my first round opponent. Oh, 10 tanks. And here we go. I'm in round number 1 playing Eric and his 10 tanks. Look at that, 10 tanks. 2 big Churchill tanks and a bunch of little Lehman Russ tanks. I'm hiding behind my favorite ruin to protect myself from getting absolutely murdered. Okay, with that though, let's dive in. He's going first. I did pick Retrieve Data. I picked Bring It Down because he's got lots of tanks, and I also picked Behind Enemy Lines, and Eric picked my Last Gun and Bayonet. He wants to kill stuff on objectives. He picked Engage on All Fronts, and he picked Grind Them Down. He's just going to order his tanks to basically full throttle and just get into position as we move into the new turn. Okay, end of the game. The tanks did go first, which was really, really useful for me. And then he basically rushed up because he wanted to get onto the objectives. This is probably the best mission for me to play against an army that has 10 Lehman Russes.
At the end of the day, I tabled the Lehman Russes. I still have a squad in there, a squad behind the crates, a squad behind that. Drazar, my succubus. This raider's empty. This court, I still have 2 little racks over here, 5 little racks there. But it was a pretty big bloodbath all around. So with a 19-1 victory, I move on to round number 2. Okay, so round number 2, I'm playing Mike and his Admech. They are Mars. He did go first again on the scouring, and I, of course, hiding my whole army, which is exciting. But with that, I did take banners, heard the prey, because I want him to come past this line, and bring it down because he has like 18 tank wounds. He took knowledge, so he has to kill my raiders and my characters. He took Purge the Flesh, so he has to kill more things.
So kill more things with vehicles than you
then
kill
I kill vehicles. But if you don't kill anything, that doesn't count?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then data. He's doing retrieve data. But on that, wish me luck. Okay, that's the end of round number 2. So it was scouring. So I did take banners of the prey and bring it down. I don't know if I talked about that earlier. He took knowledge, flesh, and data. So I was able to... He went first again, which was really helpful for me because I kind of waited for like 1 or 2 turns. And then I exploded outwards and then just pinned him in the back and stopped him from scoring primary for the next couple of turns at the end, and that just really solidified it. And then because I took herd, if he went past the halfway line, I had these 2 to just hide behind and just kind of pounce on him. So it was a good mission against this army, but don't underestimate these chickens. Now that they're core again, rerolling hits, rerolling wounds, they do a lot of damage. And I was very lucky to be able to kill both basically squads of chickens, the combat chickens early on. I had one of my Venoms. I killed 1 of 3 chickens. They failed morale, lost 1, and then 1 ran to attrition thanks to my Dark Creed leadership debuff, which was amazing. All right, with that, let's get to lunch. And round number 3 is going to be coming up of 6. Round 3, I'm playing against MSU demons. Lots of fiends, lots of Zinchi, Slaneshi stuff. As for secondaries, he took reality, banners, and warp ritual, which is pretty standard. He's going to force me to come up and take him off the banners, which is awesome. I took R&D because why not? I don't interact with this list. Behind enemy lines because I'm super fast and can pull it off. And no prisoners because he's got tons and tons of units. So round 3. And then 1 more round. It's a 4-round day. It's a lot of stuff happening. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so it is round number 4. Sorry, the last round ended like with no time. So we had to rush onto this one. I did win into the demons. It was a crazy close game. It was like 73 to 84 or something. It was really close. Drazar went absolute mad and killed like 500 points of the demon army by himself. It was just, I've never seen that. It was crazy. So now I'm playing into some World Eaters. And I went first, which was actually really useful for me. So that's really good. And it allowed me to pop both of the rhinos, which is good. And now they're all on foot at least, which kind of helps me out. But in terms of secondaries, I took no prisoners, retrieve data, because I just want to do actions. No prisoners, because I have to kill them anyway, and I want to be able to kill them in shooting and in combat. I learned that in my last game against World Eaters. And then behind enemy lines, I didn't get any this turn, but I've set up to start scoring it in the next turns as well. And he took blood for the Blood God, which is kill stuff in close combat. He took the tally is due or something like that, which is basically killing things that were on objectives, and the other one, which you basically get 15 points on and spend blood type points to get points. So all 3 World Eater ones. So there you have it. It is late. This is round 4. We're tired. It's snowing outside. It's going to be a good time. And that's the end of the game. I did end up losing 12-8, so I got 8 points. He went second, which helped him on the last turn. He got 24, like a bunch of primaries on the last 2 turns. And the secondaries that they can score crazy with like just being able to get 15s down the line without really having to do much, even if I tried to kill him. He had 2 characters and 4 Exalted 8-bound left, and I had 10 Cabalites, a Raider, and just a little bit of the court left. And that was it. Everything else was dead. So the blood flew.
Check out Bloodbath and Beyond, guys.
Bloodbath and Beyond. Check it out. Link will be in the description. Okay, round number 4 at the event. I am playing once again against World Eaters. This time I tried a different approach, which is a more measured approach. And now it's, my opponent's deciding that if he wants to kind of go all in or not. Because if not, I'm just going to play cat and mouse all game, and he's not going to score any secondaries. So he's like, I need to jump out. Okay, so there we go. I picked behind enemy lines, R&D, and no prisoners. He picked all 3 of the World Eater ones because they're all good. So there you have it. And with that, yeah, let's wish me luck. Okay, so end of the match. I got 75 points, there's 95. I just can't stop the secondaries. And then on the primaries, there was one fateful turn that just kind of swung away from me, and it's crazy how fast it flips. However, these are like the best that I can take into this matchup. And I did get 9 on all prisoners, 8 for R&D because he did stop me. But behind enemy lines, I was able to just push stuff in, but gave some points for that. I feel like Dark Eldar need to go second in this matchup to be able to get that last turn, grab objectives. Going first, it's like I get a 7, so this is a 13-7, so it's 1 less point than I got last game. But other than that, it was a 20-point spread. Wow, what a crazy game. Other than that, let's move on to the final round, and let's go have some more fun. And it's the last round, playing against Custodes. Lots of Wardens, 20 Wardens, Trajan, a banner. It's really fun. They're super fast, can advance and charge and stuff. Because they're like Solar Watcher or something like that, or Emissaries or something like that. Anyway, it's super fun. I ended up going first, which is good for my opponent in this mission especially, which is Tide of Convergence. I like going first, apparently. Maybe I should just make an army that Alpha strikes and just likes going first, because I've rolled it a lot this tournament. Other than that, it's a fun time. Secondaries-wise, I took Take Them Alive, because I'm going to have to engage him in combat to kill him. Retrieve data, because that's I don't have to interact with him to do that. And of course, behind enemy lines, he took Stand Vigil to try and hold objectives in the middle, which he can, because he can bully his OBSEC. He took Grind Them Down, because he wants to try to kill more of me than I kill of him. And he's trying to kill my characters, so Assassinate, another thing that he can score. So with that, let's dive in to the game. Wish me luck. Last round. Awesome. Let's do this. Well, that is the end of the event. Last round. I played against the Custodes. 20 Wardens. I sent my whole army to 10 Wardens and killed them. Then the other 10 were over here, moved up, got made fight lost by Drazar. And then I killed 2 in combat. They failed their morale, and then 4 more ran. So like out of 10, 6 died in 1 turn, 4 of them from morale thanks to a Venom. That was absolutely crazy. Other than that, it was at the end of the game, he's got a Rhino back here, a little character, and it was a 20-0 victory. Great, strong finish for the Dark Eldar. And we'll go back to the studio and check out everything I learned for the event. A huge shout out to Nick for putting on a great event, Dan from the Red Dragon for all the support, all the train, all that stuff. Awesome. Check him out. And that's a wrap.
Oh my goodness, what a fantastic event. A shout out to Nick and Jeremy and Dan from the Red Dragon. Thank you for putting such an amazing event on back in the studio. I ended up going 4-2, as you saw, and I came in 11th place out of 60 players. So it was a great, tough competition, and I'm very excited to go over the list and what I've learned in the matchups as we lead up to Canhammer Team Tournament. Stay tuned. I want to take a quick moment to thank all the channel Patreons, without whom none of this would be possible. If you like the channel content, the best way to support me is on Patreon. So the link is down in the description below. Of course, you can like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment to help the algorithm so that folks can find these videos and hopefully they find them useful as well. So let's dive into the list. I did lose both my games against the World Eaters. And it's like, I feel it's a winnable matchup, but it's definitely not an easy matchup. So let's break down what everything did. I think one of the MVPs of the list is definitely Drazar. He's an absolute monster. I would not leave without him. He's just so good. The Court and the Archon, still very, very good as well as the units of Incubi. Something that I really liked were having the Reaver Jet Bikes and the Mandrakes to do secondary scoring. I think that was fabulous. And the main meat and potatoes of the list are the Raiders, the Phantasms, and the Blasters from the Cabalite Warriors. All in all, this list just works well in conjunction. However, in just like World Eaters, that was the one that really kind of stumped me. You know, I don't really want to change anything in the list. This is a list I'm taking to Canhammer Team Tournament. You know, they did announce 10th edition at the Adepticon preview, and I'm super excited about that. And I'm really wondering like how something like this might look or play in the new edition. You know, they said they're going to simplify the edition, but I don't know. You let me know in the description down below, you know, or in a comment. What do you think is going to happen in 10th edition? I'm very curious about it. Now, I've been toying around with putting different things in the transports depending on the matchup. Normally, I put the Incubi and the Venoms, and then I put the Cabalite Warriors in each of the Raiders. So like 10 Cabalites, and then the Incubi here. And with the characters, I bounce them around, I put them on the table, etc. Against World Eaters specifically, I'm thinking of starting to put the racks inside of the Venoms, maybe the unit Cabalite Warriors, and then putting like the Incubi and the Raiders, because they have to stay back and they can countercharge, while putting the Venoms on like objectives in the mid board forces the World Eater player to like charge them, potentially with 8-bound, and then killing them in combat to get points, for example, but then me being able to pop out and take the objective to then score primary, to then continue to play the primary game, which is where I feel you have to win into World Eaters currently, because they just have so many secondary points. And one more tournament with this list, and then I'm thinking I'm going to test something completely different. What do you think about Triple Tantalus or something like that, or Witch Cult? You know, let me know what sort of crazy list you'd like me to play in the next couple of events after the Canhammer Team Tournament. There'll be one more tournament in review. All in all, I still need to play some more games with this just to get better at it, but this is Dark Eldar for you. MSU, crazy, fast, lots of shooting, lots of combat, lots of scoring potential. Definitely, if you want to build a Dark Eldar army, build it like this, because it's so cool. And there you have it, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in for another tournament in review. I've been Skari, your grateful host. Signing off until next time. Skari out. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.